Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of my series on making ISK and Eve by station trading. This is probably going to be a really short episode. It's going to be about a tool called Elinor that is very useful, but surprisingly not a lot of people know about. So it doesn't have that many features, but the ones that it does have are very useful. You can see I have the window over here, and I've hit the pin button so that way I can be in Eve actually doing things on the market while this window is still here invisible. So to start off, you're going to have to install it. I'll put a link in the description. It hasn't been updated since something like summer of 2012, but it still works wonderfully. I mean, CCP doesn't really change the way the market log system works between patches, so it doesn't actually need updates. So it's very minimalistic, but it does its job very well. So once you've installed Elinor, go ahead and go up here and click New to make a new profile and name it whatever. So that'll take you to the settings window. So over here, I'm logged into my market character who happens to have accounting only trained to level 4. So I'm going to go ahead and change accounting to level 4. I keep these settings the way they are. Now another thing you're going to want to change is the advanced increment settings. It'll tell you that it's a barely tested feature, but I've tested it pretty thoroughly and it seems to work. So just hit OK. Change sell price fraction to a really big number and buy price fraction to a really big number, and then change threshold to 0.01 for both of these. And now when it gives you a buy or sell price for an item, it'll give you a buy or sell price that is only 0.01 ISK off of the next highest or lowest price. So now that we've put in that information, go up here to the overview, and you can see we don't have any items selected. So the first useful feature of this is to determine the profit margin on an item. So I'm going to demonstrate this with a random item from the market. I've already opened up prosthetics or something. So just load up the item and hit export to file, and you can see it's already loaded up over here. So you can see over here, this is applying, this will take your skills into account. You can see the cost markup is 15.87, so that's the raw difference between buy and sell price. That's the same number as you would get if you were using the Eve Mentap market browser, but the profit margin, 13.7%, is taking into account your skills. Now, obviously, we know this probably would not be a great item to trade because if we look at the price history here, you can see it doesn't really move. Like, there's obviously some volume moving through, but it's generally pretty low. And then up here, you can see, in general, the volume is not too great. So although this is a fairly high profit margin item, it's a 13.7% margin and it's 100 million profit for each one you turn, still might not be a good idea to invest too much money in it. But let's pretend that this was an amazing item and I've decided I want to make a buy order. While you're looking for items that you'd like to trade, hit enable autocopy and set autocopy to buy price. So that way if I look at, I don't know, this item, and I hit export to file, I see this and I go, whoa, that's a 36% profit margin. I think I should trade in this item. All I have to do is hit place buy order, and then Control A, Control V to paste the buy price, which is automatically copied from here. So you see the highest order over here is 922,800,099.01 ISK. I have 922,800,099.02 ISK over here. So the buy price copy is working as intended. And at the same time, we've managed to find an item with a great profit, and assuming better circumstances, hopefully an item with a better volume, but I was just using this as a demonstration. Also, if you look down here under sample data, this will tell you profit margins on various numbers of items traded. So if I was looking at an item that trades 750,000 or 750 units a day, and I want to know how much profit I can stand to make from it if I'm making, I don't know, 17 ISK per unit, all I have to do is look down here and find a number that corresponds to it. So, for example, 500,000 units is about 272 million ISK for this item, and add to that 2 of these, 54 million ISK. So I can see I'm going to be making, I don't know, 400 or so million ISK for every day is going through that item. So that's the potential profit I could be making if my order was always on top. Again, your order is never going to be on top, or for the most part, it's not always going to be on top. So, especially if you're trading, like JITA, like me, where I'm trading in JITA, your order is not going to be on top all the time. Even if you set at your computer 24/7, you can only modify an order once every 5 minutes, and you're going to get undercut on at least something if you've got as many orders as you should have. So even right now, I've got maybe 60 orders up, and I still can't fully update. I can't go through my list and update every single order without the ones at the beginning starting to get undercut by the time I'm done. So it's not something you can hope for. But as you can see, buy price copy will let you paste the buy price right in, and it'll let you look at the profit margin. This is the tool I use when I'm looking at what items I want to set up orders on. I just have it open, pinned with auto copy on buy price, and whenever I see an item that looks like it has a good margin and good volume, I will consider trading it. And this will be different for each person, how much you'd want to invest, and what your minimum threshold for ISK per day is. But generally, if you take my rule is if you take whatever the movement is, take whichever the lowest number between these two is, buy or sell, under movement, which both here are 0. You find the sample data that's closest to that number, and if it's a high enough number for you for profit per day, you might want to consider investing. For me, that number is maybe 25 or 30 million. It could be more or less for you. Depends how much capital you have, how many orders you want to manage, so on and so forth. And then you just go ahead and make your order. I generally make my order for whichever is the lowest one, or if that's a really low number, or if it's a very cheap item to invest in. Sometimes I'll make it an even higher number, but I generally won't make an order that's less than the lowest movement number. So now that we've seen how the buy price works, let's see how sell price works. So say you get back to your computer, you've been gone all day, you open up your hanger, and you've got a bunch of items you need to sell. So here, pretend my only order that filled was an order for Hammerhead 2s. So now I want to sell these items. So what do? You just hit auto copy sell price. It's not going to be that big of a time saver when I'm only selling one item, but if you have 20 buy orders that just filled, this will make your life a lot easier. All you do is right click, sell on the item, and then hit the little magnifying glass in the corner, and hit export to file down here. And now when you paste, you've got the ask price over here. If we take another look at the market, you can see lowest sell order, 611,999.99 ISK. I've got the same number, but 0.98, 0.01 ISK lower. And then you just hit sell. And there you go. My order is now the lowest order for Hammerhead 2s. So this is the general purpose of this tool is that it's going to be a huge time saver when you are either selling all the orders that you have, all of the items that you've got from the buy orders that have filled, or setting up new buy orders. It can be used to update orders. I mean, you could just go through your buy orders, double click on it in your wallet, and then hit auto copy buy price and just export each one to a document. That, it works. It's not the fastest way, but it works. I kind of prefer using Mentat for that, but if you don't feel like alt tabbing back and forth, you can use this. It's a much more elegant solution for people with one screen, with one monitor, I think. But Mentat doesn't really have anything that even comes close when you are selling the items that you've actually purchased. So, very powerful tool. I recommend you use it. It shouldn't take too long to get familiar with. Like I said, it doesn't have that many features, but all the features it does have, it does a very good job of displaying them and allowing you to use them, and they all work perfectly in my experience. So thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas for future videos you'd like to see made, please leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys later.